on the 35 for the Eau Gallie Commodores.
Oh, look at this, look at this, look at this.
Lherisse makes one man miss, still on his feet, and going down the sideline. Is Lherisse taking it to the house? Yes, he is.
Touchdown, Eau Gallie Commodores, and that's how you start a second half, Knock.
Yeah, I was about to say, but that was my key. You cannot let the 5:35 to play here in the fourth quarter. Lherisse will keep it himself, bounces to the outside. Looking for a blocker, he gets it across the 15, the 10, the 5, and do we have the exclamation point? We do! Touchdown, Commodore!
That's it, Knock, that's it. The Eau Gallie Commodores have come into Richard Dick Blake Stadium and made a statement because they didn't beat them, okay?
As that one's picked by Xavier Lherisse.
Jeez.
Second interception, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks.
Yeah, I mean, Xavier Lherisse, if he's not the player of the year, stop and give him the award now because and that ball is hit deep to left field, back, track, wall, and you can touch them all, Xavier Lherisse. That is a solo home run, and you know he's got to feel good about that. As Xavier Lherisse goes deep. And there it is. And a pleasant good evening to you and yours, and welcome to Brevard Sports Network, a special edition tonight of One on One. And we don't get an opportunity to do these interviews a whole lot anymore. But if we were going to do one, and especially on a night like tonight, this would be the one I would pick. Joining me tonight live here is a young man who I've watched grow up playing sports in this county. And what I saw from him on Friday night was nothing short of absolutely spectacular. I've seen him do a lot of tremendous things in sports, in a multitude of sports. But Friday night was something special. Please help me welcome back here. I don't know. I can't remember the last time. I think it was Thanksgiving last year we talked to him here on, Xavier Lherisse. What's up, buddy?
What's up? How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. The Oregon commit with me. Now, look, before we get started, I want to start right here before we talk about when you put your head on the pillow Friday night and you by yourself, you're in your room, you're staring at the ceiling. What's going through your mind? What are you thinking about just happened Friday night, and how were you able to compartmentalize all of it?
Really, it's just thinking of all the good, try not to think of the bad stuff that happened, but really just going back and watching the game and seeing where I messed up and where I could have done better. So moving on to the next week, I don't make those same mistakes.
And that's why who you are is who you are, because you didn't say you're focused on what you need to improve on. Well, let me ask you this, okay? You and your football team and your coaching staff Friday night were able to do something that nobody's done in nearly 6 years, and did it at a place where nobody's done it in nearly 7 years, and that's defeat the Cocoa Tigers. Xavier, how did you guys get that done on Friday night?
We had a really good game plan going on. Going into that week, we had a lot of people talking. We just kept our mouth closed, had a good game plan, went in there, executed, and did what we had to do. So,
what to you? I find the dynamic between you and the freshman an interesting one, because you're the senior leader on this team. There is no question about that. But I watch you out there talking to him, and sometimes I see you directing him. And so tell me a little bit about that dynamic between you and Xavier Corbin.
We have it's really good right now because he's still young.
Yeah.
And he has what I don't have. He has the height. So for him to be that young, it's really just me trying to make sure that his head is right. So he's thinking the right things. He knows what he's doing, so he doesn't get in his own head. So whenever he does get the chance to be an upperclassman, he's going to be 10 times better than everybody expected.
And doing the same things and being the same type of leader you are. We're here with the X-Man, Xavier Lherisse. And Xavier, I'm going to go back to that game because it wasn't just what you did offensively, but I know this year you haven't been on the other side of the ball as much as you want to be on the other side of the football because you're playing this Wildcat, and that's a lot of beating and banging on your body. But you get in there Friday night, played, I think, nearly every snap on the defensive side of the football. You come up with 3 interceptions, one in absolute spectacular fashion, diving across the field. How did you prepare yourself and your body for what you were going to need to do Friday night?
Really, it's really my dad. My dad helps me throughout most of it. Every day is like it's like a job. I got to take care of my body if I want to play. So that's if I got to take an ice bath after practice, get stretched out, use the massage gun, use a foam roller, take my vitamins. Me and my dad stay on top of it, so I'm fresh every week for a game.
Yeah, there aren't a lot of people, if anybody, better in this county at athletic training than your father, Manny Lherisse. And I tell you, your entire family, man, are athletes, and you all know how to get it done, that's for sure. Let me ask you this here. I want to talk to you about an aspect of your game. You were just as effective putting your foot on the football and punting. Where in the heck have you learned through the years to punt a football like that? You dropped one, and people are watching it now on the screen. You dropped one inside the 5-yard line the other night. I won't forget this. My broadcast partner says, well, if Lherisse can drop this inside the 20, and he goes, never mind, he dropped it inside the 5. Where'd you learn to punt like this?
Not gonna lie, I don't even know. Our punter went down. Coach Sands was like, we got to find the next man up. And I went out there, kicked one ball, and he was like, all right, I guess you're the new punter. And I've been balling ever since.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy to me. Speaking of next man up, I know there's nobody on this football team that expected to lose Joseph Allen this year. And Godspeed, Joseph, if you're watching. Get well. We want to see you back out there next year. Xavier, what was the tone? I mean, I know you didn't know the extent of the injury at Vero Beach, but kind of once you guys learned what it was going to be moving forward, can you kind of take us through the mentality of the team and how you guys came up with this and what your focus was at that point?
At first we were all down. We were a little sluggish, knowing our starting quarterback went down. We were supposed to, with Joe, we would have been one of the best teams in the States, and we all knew that. But with him going down, at first it was a little slow, but then we had leaders step up. We had Brody in practice. He was throwing some dots. So we had a lot of trust in our team, and we had a couple meetings to make sure everybody was on the right page, knowing that we could still win that state ring. So we got everybody bought in, and now we're all grinding for that ring.
What do you think this right now I think this team can play deep into the month of November. What do you think this team needs to do to be that team that can play for that state? Because with 5 weeks left, there's still plenty of opportunity left to continue to get better. Where do you see opportunity for improvement for this football team?
Really just staying more disciplined and stop getting so many flags. We last against Cocoa, we had a bunch of big plays that got called back, shooting ourselves in the foot. We just gotta stay more disciplined, play our game, and I don't see no team that can mess with us.
No, I don't either. That's for sure. And you don't get an opportunity to celebrate this long because one of the best districts, Xavier, in the entire state is your district with you and Titusville and Merritt Island. So you got to get ready for a Titusville team that last year, man, it was an absolute slugfest. I think the final score in the regular season game was 7-3. You blew them out in the playoffs. So let me ask you this. What was the difference between what happened in the playoff or in the regular season to the playoffs? And how do you, how are you guys going to approach this one coming up?
That one was really just us coming into the game thinking that we were going to dog walk them. We thought it was going to be it's Titusville. It's just going to be another game. Let's just get it done. But they came out there fighting. So this year we're definitely not going to take them easy. We're going to play like it's TFA. We're going to come out there, best 11 men on the field. We're going to do what we have to do.
With you as a senior over the last 3 years, and look, I give Coach Sands all the credit. I mean, he'll give me the business every now and then. It's always Coco with you. I mean, he doesn't say that, but that's what he wants to say, right? To me, to the media. What does it feel like to be a senior in this county, at this point, knowing that the Eau Gallie Commodores, no hesitation, no doubt, are the best high school football team in Brevard County?
No, it feels great because I've won this game since my freshman year, and we got it my sophomore year. We just fell up short. So ever since that day, I knew we were gonna get another chance, and I knew we couldn't mess that one up. So it just feels great knowing out there we just did what we had to do and came out successful.
Now, I know that you guys, obviously every team wants to win at home, but how special was it to do what you guys did to them in the trenches, in the backfield, on the defense, on special teams, and do it in their place?
No, it felt great because we had a lot of people talking smack. We just kept our mouth shut. So we knew what we were going to do, and we came out there and executed. So it feels even better.
I love it. All right, let's switch gears a little bit. And listen, I'm going to be completely 100 with you. I love watching you play football. My favorite sport is baseball, man. I love baseball, okay? And I've always enjoyed watching you play baseball. Is there still any future with you with baseball? Will we see you this year? And what happens moving forward with the sport?
This year I decided I'm just gonna take the year off. I finished all my classes, so I'm gonna graduate early, get up to Oregon early, start my classes, start practices. But I still have the love for the game, so you never know. If something happens in Oregon where I need to suit up and go play on the diamond, I might just have to do it.
Let me tell you something, Oregon. If you're watching, you got a Kyler Murray type right here. This young man can play the game of baseball. Man, I've watched you. I think I did a game last year against Rockledge where you went yard in the game. So yeah, man, it's crazy. Let me ask you this about Oregon. I mean, people have talked to you ad nauseum on why you chose Oregon, and so we know all of that. But now that you've been out there a couple of times and you've had an opportunity to see it out there, be out there. What about the culture of that state, that area? Really, what do you really like about all that out there?
I just like how different it is. I've been in Florida my whole life, so just the atmosphere, the people up there are super nice. They made me feel welcome, made me feel like I was at home. Like usually when I go to a visit, I'm like, all right, this is cool, seeing all the cool stuff, but I'm ready to go back home. But when I go up there, I just feel so welcome. Like I would be fine if my parents left me up there on my visits and I just stayed up there the rest of the time because it's just that type of place. It's a great place to be.
And I'm not talking about the campus because the campus is beautiful. The facilities are second to none. What those facilities are, I mean, you could literally, those facilities are better than probably 3/4 of NFL facilities, or maybe all of them. I mean, that's just how great they are. But what about that area, that climate struck you? I mean, there's a lot of different things about Oregon. I mean, you take a look one way and it's mountains and trees, and I mean, it's the home of Nike, all of that stuff. What do you like about all that?
It's cool. They got a whole bunch of stuff, nature. They got some good fishing out there, and that's what I like to do.
Right.
But I'm just excited to go out there where there's not really a lot of distractions. I just want to go somewhere where I can lock in on football and not have nothing to worry about, nothing to distract me. And Oregon's the place for that, so I'm ready.
Yeah, I tell you, man. So you're done with all your classes. You're going to graduate early, so you'll probably be up there in mid-December.
Yes, sir. I think I leave January 2nd.
Oh my goodness gracious, man! It's going to be wild, man. It's going to be wild. It's just crazy to think of you heading out to Oregon already, man. You guys make me feel so old. As we get set to wrap up here with you, and looking back on your high school career, your little league football, little league baseball, all the things that you've done. What are some of the things that stand out to you that you remember the most?
Definitely just from Little League going up to Eau Gallie. I've been in Eau Gallie my whole life. Just the community and the people that have supported me, coaches, Coach Bush, growing up my whole life. Made sure I was doing the right things, made sure I was in the right places. So I'm just blessed to have that amazing community around me. I'm doing what I'm doing, so I just want to give a big thanks to them.
I'm glad you brought that up because one of the things, X, that we see today, and it's just the culture of high school and college football. And I hate when people say it's a lack of loyalty. I like to call it now a plethora of opportunity for people. But you do see a lot of transfers. Your loyalty. Talk to me about where your loyalty comes from because you have been loyal to Eau Gallie, to the Eau Gallie community. If it's something the Eau Gallie community has truly never had to worry about, is you going off to, I mean, your dad went to where? MCC, right?
Yes, sir.
So your dad went to MCC. You know, people never had to worry about you going anyplace else. Talk to me about your loyalty and where that comes from.
You know, it definitely comes from my parents. My parents did a really good job when I was little, making sure that if I started something, I finished it. So when I came to Eau Gallie, I didn't really get the looks I really wanted my freshman year, but I had trust in Coach Sands and Coach Kiki, and they put me in the best position. So I just stuck it out, and now look at me. Got 60 offers, could go anywhere I want. So I'm just blessed.
That's an incredible answer, and for those that don't know your family, it truly is one of the best. And I absolutely love talking to your dad, your mom, your sister. How's your sister doing?
She's doing really good. She's actually going to play basketball at Eastern Florida, so that's going to be exciting to be able to go watch some of her games again.
Very cool, and there's no excuse not to go watch. There's a couple of Brevard County girls over there, so there's no excuse not to go watch because that's free. Listen, man, where does that win Friday night stick on your list? Is that at the top or in the top 5?
Definitely. I've had a lot of good games, but that feeling after the game, looking into the stands, knowing everybody was down on us, definitely was one of the best feelings out of them all.
No doubt about it, man. And listen, I was wrong. I picked Cocoa Thursday night. My apologies. And I said on Friday's show, I said, look, I should have known better. I just should have known better because I've watched this young man play sports since, you know, he was in Little League, and I just should have known that he was going to do what he did. Congratulations. Good luck. Thanks for spending some time with us here tonight. I personally couldn't be more proud of you, and I'm looking forward to watching you on Saturdays, X.
Yes, sir. Of course. Thank you.
Absolutely. All right. For Xavier Lherisse, the X-Man I've always called him, I'm Alan Slaughter-Zinski for the Brevard Sports Network.
On the 35 for the Eau Gallie Commodores.
Oh, look at this. Look at this. Look at this.
Lherisse makes one man miss. Still on his feet and going down the sideline. Is Lherisse taking it to the house? Yes, he is.
Touchdown, Eau Gallie Commodores, and that's how you start a second half, Knock.
Yeah, I was about to say, but that was my key. You cannot let the 5:35 to play here in the fourth quarter. Lherisse will keep it himself. Bounces to the outside. Looking for a blocker. He gets it across the 15, the 10, the 5. And do we have the exclamation point? We do. Touchdown, Commodore.
That's it, Doc. That's it. The Eau Gallie Commodores have come into Richard Dick Blake Stadium and made a statement because they didn't beat them, okay?
As that one's picked by Xavier Lherisse.
Jeez.
Second interception, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks.
Yeah, I mean, Xavier Lherisse, if he's not the player of the year, stop and give him the award now because and that ball is hit deep to left field, back, track, wall, and you can touch them all, Xavier Lherisse. That is a solo home run, and you know he's got to feel good about that. As Xavier Lherisse goes deep. And there it is.